Hey, what's up? Do you know what level you have in English? If you're understanding this, you probably have a B1 or higher. In this video, we're going to go over all of the CEFR levels. We'll talk about what they are, how they can help us gauge our level in a language, and what you need to reach each level. My name is Benji, and I make this content so that you can have things to listen to that you understand from a native English speaker. Without any further ado, let's jump into today's episode. So what is the CEFR? CEFR is an acronym, which means it's a collection of letters that represent words. In this case, CEFR stands for the Common European Framework of Reference for Foreign Languages. For example, I have a C1 in Spanish. That means that I'm conversationally fluent and to some degree advanced. This means that I can have conversations about history or politics. I can even dream in Spanish. Whereas with French, I have a B1, meaning I can't even sustain a conversation in French. So why does this even help us? Well, number one, it helps us to gauge our level, to know what level we have in a foreign language, which of course is helpful because it teaches us what we need to do to get to the next level. It tells us exactly what each level represents and what someone with each level can do. It helps us by giving us clear objectives for how to advance in a language. So how do you figure out what level you have? If you don't know what level you have yet, that's completely fine. But if you want to know, go to the link in the description. It's my favorite CEFR test. It'll be about 25 questions and it will tell you what your level is in English. So the first two levels out of 6 in the CEFR is the A1 and A2 level. To have an A1 level means you understand very basic phrases like, how are you? Hello, what's your name? My name is, and I'm from blank country. This usually takes between 60 and 85 hours to reach this level, which means if you study 30 minutes a day, you'll be able to reach this level in 4 to 6 months. If you study for an hour a day, you'll be able to reach this level in 2 to 3 months. And if you study for 2 hours a day, you'll reach A1 within 1 to 2 months. Now A2 is what's called upper beginner. This means that you're still a beginner, you haven't reached intermediate, but you are an advanced beginner. What can you do with an A2? With the A2 level, you're expected to know around 900 words in total. The A2 level means that a person can produce and understand all of the basic phrases of a given language. They can even introduce themselves, talk about their family, and even mention where they're from. If you study for 30 minutes a day, it's going to take you 11 to 14 months to reach A2. If you study for 1 hour a day, then it's probably going to take you between 5 and 7 months to reach A2. And if you study for 2 hours a day, you'll be able to reach A2 from nothing in 2 to 3 months. And by the way, it usually takes between 160 to 200 studying hours to reach A2. B1 and B2, these are what are called the intermediate stages. This means that you're not a beginner anymore, but you're neither in the advanced levels. So the first one is B1. B1 means that you know about 1,850 words in total. You should be able to express yourself in basic circumstances like meeting someone. Hello, how are you? I'm well. You should have this down to the point where you're able to do it fluently. You should also be able to understand small, clear, standard written texts that are about your personal interests. It's estimated that to reach the B1 level, you need to have a total of 380 to 420 total study hours. This means that if you study for only 30 minutes a day, it's going to take you about 25 to 28 months to reach B1. If you study for 1 hour a day, it's going to take you between 12 to 14 months from the beginning to get to B1. And if you study for 2 hours a day, of course it's going to be much shorter, and it's only going to take you 6 to 7 months from nothing to B1. Now, B2 is considered upper intermediate, and it's the last level before you reach advanced. When someone reaches B2, it's considered by many to be the first stage of fluency. With this level, you should be able to finally enjoy long conversations with friends, movies, YouTube videos, and even books. This should take you about 620 to 675 total study hours, and usually requires a vocabulary of about 3,000 words. So if you're planning to study 30 minutes a day, it's going to take you 3 to 4 years to reach B2. If you study for 1 hour a day, it's going to take you between 20 and 23 months to reach B2 from nothing. And of course, if you study 2 hours every day, it's only going to take you 10 to 12 months. The last two levels in the CEFR are C1 and C2, both considered advanced levels. The C1 level is reached when the learner knows about 7,500 words. At this stage, a learner should be able to read books, read articles, have extremely long conversations, explain their points on political matters, on historical matters, persuade, and defend their perspective. To get to a C1 level from nothing, it will require about 780 to 850 total study hours and about 7,500 words in your vocabulary. This means that if you study for only 30 minutes a day, from nothing to C1, it's going to take you 4 to 5 years. If you study for an hour a day, it's only going to take you 2 to 2.5 years. But if you study for 2 hours a day, it's only going to take you 13 to 15 months to go from nothing to C1. Now, C2 is usually referred to as advanced native or advanced native. I consider it advanced native because from my experience, a lot of natives can't even pass a C2 exam in their native language. It requires a vast amount of knowledge about a language to be considered C2 in that language. So a C2 learner is able to express themselves, understand grammatical concepts much better than just the average Joe. This usually requires between 15,000 and 20,000 total words in your vocabulary, and usually 940 to 1,050 total study hours. This means that if you study for 30 minutes a day, you're going to be looking at 5 to 6 years to reach C2. If you study for 1 hour a day, that'll be about 2.5 to 3 years. And if you study for 2 hours every single day, you'll reach C2 between 13 and 16 months. Now that you understand the CEFR, let me know what level you have in English. Also, tell me down below what your goals are. Do you want to reach C1 in a year? Do you want to reach C2 in 3 months? Let me know in the comments below, and we can all talk about our language learning goals. Thanks so much for stopping by. If you think that this video was helpful, give it a like and subscribe to my channel so that you can get more content that you understand just like this weekly. Have a wonderful day. I'm Ben with Acquire the Language. Hasta luego. Ciao.